Hey everyone, my name's Nick DeMeglio. I am with NFL Draft Diamonds. This afternoon, we're here with Ayir Asante, wide receiver from Wyoming. He is a 2024 NFL Draft prospect. We're gonna ask him some questions and get an idea of who he is as a person on and off the field. How are you doing, Ayir?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
No, of course. Hope this is beneficial for you and kind of give scouts and evaluators an opportunity to get a better feel and idea of who you are off the field and on the field.
I appreciate it.
So I guess first and foremost, do you want to go ahead and walk us through a little bit about your journey, kind of to where you are today?
Yeah, for sure. I'm from Jersey, Franklin Township, New Jersey. Went to high school in Jersey City. Went to St. Peter's Prep. Um, and then out of there, I was, recruited. Ended up being, committed to Lehigh, and then they lost their head coach before signing day. Reopened my recruitment. Ended up committing to Holy Cross, where I spent my first 4 years, my undergrad. And it was a good 4 years. We went back to back to back to back champions in that conference. I've only lost one game in conference. It was my freshman year.
Wow.
Yeah, and we I think what in those 4 years we have all the schools playoff wins. We were ranked sixth in the country my senior year. First time we ever beat Harvard and Yale in the same season, and the most recent undefeated season. Um, so yeah, I mean, I had a really good career at Holy Cross. Made a bunch of friendships, relationships, and was able to play. But with my sophomore year, kind of going away towards COVID, I got a COVID year. So at the end of my senior year, I was able to get my degree and then get in the portal. And in the portal, a bunch of teams have reached out, but it's just a little different with me not being able to get there until the summer. So I'd miss spring ball and because I needed my degree from Holy Cross, I wasn't willing to transfer without getting that degree. So, um, Holy Cross is one of those. I mean, Wyoming was one of those teams that was just on me from the beginning, and they, respected the fact that I wanted to get my degree and stuff like that. So, their values lined up with mine, and they needed a little bit of help in the pass game, and they felt like they just needed another playmaker. So, I committed to Wyoming and got out there. I graduated, late May. Was out in Laramie, Wyoming, June 4th. So I was out there all summer and started my fifth year there. We had a really good season. Had a lot of fun, got a lot of wins. Made a bowl and won the bowl. And our head coach retired, so that was his last game. So it was good to get him the
Wow.
win.
It's a good
And
way for them to go out.
yeah, great way. They say the cowboy runs rides into the sunset, and that was definitely exactly what it was for Coach Bull. So happy for him. Happy for the experience and the fans and the team, the coaching, everything at Wyoming was it was a blessing. So super grateful for that. And then I was able to declare for the draft.
Okay, nice. So, I know you kind of talked a little bit about having to come in more or less towards the summer for summer camp and stuff, not being there in the spring at Wyoming. What do you say? How was that kind of having to get acclimated to the playbook and everything a little bit later? I mean, it obviously speaks to you being a pretty smart player if you could pick up a playbook, a whole new playbook, probably that within a month or two before the season and everything like that. But
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a challenge just because I went from a no huddle and kind of getting the signals off the sideline
okay,
offense to Wyoming's more of a pro style. We're getting a number from the sideline, and then quarterback reads the full play off of a playbook on his
yep.
on his wrist or whatever, and we'd have a kill or a maybe or a can or whatever tagged onto the play. So sometimes you're getting you know 2 or 3 plays called in the huddle, and I got to be able to line up and know the adjustments and all that type of stuff, and know what converts, what doesn't, and why. Um, so it's definitely a challenge, but I kind of embraced it. I kind of treated this last year as if kind of like practice for this year.
Yep.
Going to a new team with an NFL offense and being able to pick it up and be able to contribute and go in and not only contribute but be able to go in there and compete and carve out a real spot for myself in the offense. So that's kind of how I attacked it,
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
yeah, I felt like I was pretty successful in being able to do that.
Was part of you transferring, you would say, kind of more or less to get some of that pro style experience, or it just was multiple different reasons, or
Um, it was one of the just positives, just a pro
Mhm.
for me going to Wyoming. The main reason essentially with me leaving Holy Cross was just the fact that it's only a 4 year college. So
Okay.
if I were to fifth year, essentially just like take off less classes in the spring. That way I have to do another semester and then you just do a
Mhm.
semester in the fall and you get the same degree. So I kind of just wanted to get my degree and then look for another opportunity. Plus, I mean,
Nice.
our offense had kind of been really similar the last 2 years.
Okay.
And we were kind of more committed to the quarterback run.
Yep.
And when we did throw it, it was kind of more to the outside jump ball type of thing. And we had Jalen Coker, who's another really talented wide receiver coming out in this same draft class. But it just felt like I was able to get my opportunities here and there, and I was able to make plays, but I just felt like I could contribute a lot more than what I was doing my senior and junior year. And I didn't really see any change from my junior to senior year. So it didn't really make sense for me to try to stay and, see more change from my senior to fifth year. I'd rather just, try my luck in the portal and see a different opportunity.
Yeah, it makes sense, and seems like it definitely worked out for you. I mean, obviously looking back at it now, but um, so I guess kind of curious. I mean, based on your play and your style, is there anybody you would say in the league now, past or present, I guess even that kind of mold your game after or kind of look up to a bit in terms of your playing style?
Um, I feel like there's no specific player that I kind of look up to just because I know that everyone's so different, our skill sets and body types and everything, especially a receiver, you get a wide variety of um, body types and play styles. But I definitely take a lot from Stephon Diggs. If I were to watch one person, there are I feel like I pride myself in being like a student of the game and just being able to, look at each player, each receiver that's making plays and kind of just identifying what they do that like resonates with me. And if it doesn't, or it's just something that I like, just seeing how I can incorporate that into my game.
So more
Um,
taking like bits and pieces from different guys.
for sure.
No.
Like, I mean, like for example, I look at how like Devontae Adams releases are,
Mhm.
how he's able to get such a lot of separation just from the line of scrimmage, but the way that he runs his routes and the way that he attacks the ball is a little bit different because he's a little bit taller than me. You know what I mean? The size difference, it factors into how they play. So I wouldn't exactly look at it the same way. The same way, I have some pretty good speed, so I would look at it Tyreek Hill,
Mhm.
but how Tyreek Hill plays the game is exactly the same way that I would because he's extremely fast. Like
I know,
I'm
please.
pretty fast, but he's
Yeah.
probably the fastest guy on the field at all times in the NFL, which is just insane. So I try to take little things from different people. I mean, like another person I like to watch is Keenan Allen.
Mhm.
He's not the fastest guy, and he's a little bit older now, but he's still to me one of the greatest separators in the league, and his
Yeah.
route running is just next level. So I try to take a lot from that.
Okay. I know you kind of touched a little bit already on, more or less the play calling style and the scheme between Holy Cross and Wyoming. Kind of just curious if you want to tell us a little bit more maybe about how you were utilized differently at both places.
Yeah. So at Holy Cross, I mean, when I got there, I was just a slot. I mean, I was a little bit smaller, and our offense when we had Coach Murph, who's now at URI, it was strictly RPOs. So it was a lot of numbers games. If we had two to a side and they didn't have at least two guys out there, a lot of times we take the RPO. You know what I mean? We throw bubbles, and then off that you throw a bubble with the slant, and then you got a bubble slant wheel. You know what I mean? That type
Yeah,
of stuff.
kind of.
and then glances and everything. Just taking what the defense would give us and giving me the ball in open space and let me create was a big part of our offense then.
Okay.
We, COVID year, we shifted, got a new offensive coordinator, Coach Roper, who's now at Furman. And, that first year, again, it was COVID, so we didn't really get to play. We played in the spring, but it was a little bit different. And then my junior year, we had Roper again, and I kind of transitioned from inside to outside.
Okay.
And it was, just a little bit different just because you're not going against safeties and linebackers, you're going against, corners, and a lot of times they're pressed and they have the sideline. So just getting used to that. They're a little bit longer, but I mean, I like the fact that once I beat that guy, there's, no one left usually. They get left on islands a lot of times. So, there's pros and cons to being inside and outside, but, making that transition and stuff was really, really, really fun. And then my senior year, when we had, kind of committed to the running quarterback, and our offensive coordinator was our previous O line coach. We were kind
Okay.
of run heavy,
Ground and
uh,
pound.
duo. And when we did throw it again, it was more four verts. I think that was one of our highest completed plays was four verts, and um, so I guess I had to shift my game a little bit. It wasn't really too many um opportunities to get the ball in space and create. But it's just a little bit different. I decided to play a lot more special teams that year just to, kind of have an impact on the team, running down on kickoff, making tackles and stuff like that. So um, that was what it was. And then getting to Wyoming, again, they kind of needed a playmaker
Okay.
in the pass game. And one thing that I could do and they felt like I could do was stretch the field vertically.
Hmm.
So, they would use me a lot for that. Any mismatch situations, getting, if just, being able to move me with motions and stuff like that. I mean, with Wyoming's offense, outsides and insides motion. So you can create a bunch of mismatches. And, if they want to take me away with a corner or whatever, motion me to the other side. Is he going to travel all the way across, or are they going to pass me off? Now I'm in the slot. Now I'm against the safety,
Hmm.
and that type of stuff. So still, try to make some plays down the field, but made some plays at the line of scrimmage where it's just like a dump off, and then let me do the rest of the running, and try to be that overall spark to the offense.
Nice, nice. Okay. Um, so I guess when you're kind of prepping for a game or just I guess over the off season and whatnot, when you're looking through film and watching film, what are some of the things that you would say you focus on to try and improve, your game overall or maybe your play going into that matchup you have that coming up week?
Well, on a week by week basis, I kind of try to focus on what the other team likes to do in certain
Okay.
situations, because a lot of teams and like a lot of D coordinators will stick to what they know and stick to what they like. So this team only blitzes on third downs. I won't really expect to be speeding up any routes or anything like that, or I know I have some time on first and second down. Um, knowing what coverages they like to do. Are they a man team? Are they a too high team? Do they like to disguise, or do they just play what they line up in?
Okay.
All that type of stuff that can help me think less during the game, so then I can just go out there and play. And nothing really surprises me just because of the preparation that we put in during the week. And I mean, at Wyoming, they did a really good job making those cut ups for us, and being able to we had those Friday packets with the tendencies and percentages and everything like that. So they helped us out with that a lot. But that's kind of how I go into it.
Okay.
And one thing I always focus on is how aggressive a DB is and what he bites on, or just what's his main emphasis, what he's trying to protect. Right, some guys are super aggressive. They don't want to get anything caught on them, but then they're more susceptible to the double moves. And some guys just don't want to get beat over the top. So I know if I put speed on them, they'll get out of there, and then we can stop and catch the ball short and take it long. So you kind of got to know what each guy is kind of trying to protect, and kind of see their weaknesses and their strengths, and try to use that to your advantage.
Okay. That makes sense. And then kind of like you were talking about a few minutes ago, obviously Wyoming was scheming a lot of stuff up for you and just kind of wanting saw you as a dynamic skill player, and that's why they probably went after you in the portal, obviously. So looking at your stats between Holy Cross and then having your 1 year at Wyoming, obviously Wyoming, you had your yards per reception was insane and everything like that. What is there anything in terms of that jump in production you would attribute? Is it more you would attribute it to the play calling style and kind of how things were schemed up for you, or did you do anything, I don't know, different going into that last season you had collegiately?
Um, I would say, I mean, I've been pretty consistent. It's
Okay.
just at Wyoming, just because we don't throw the ball a lot.
Yep.
Each opportunity is like for a specific defense at a specific time, and a lot of them were kind of just set up as like home runs,
Okay.
where like you catch them in it, and we go and make a play.
Okay.
There were a couple times where I was just able to make a lot of plays. Like I had a touchdown versus New Mexico where it was kind of like a slide. I lined up in the wing, went in motion, and it was almost a broken play. But quarterback dumped it off to me about at the line of scrimmage, if not like a yard behind the line of scrimmage, and I was just able to find a cutback lane, cut back 3 or 4 times, and I had my center and my running back running up in front of me, and I was able to get behind them, and stuff like that where I'm able to just create plays, and it ends up being a 66-yard touchdown. That's um just great stuff. Obviously it takes everybody. Our offensive line, it was great this year. Running back crew is always good. Line, and it also helps when our tight ends are really great blockers and can create with the ball in their hands. So, um, really wasn't getting double teamed or anything like that. Again, wasn't really getting taken away just because the rest of our offense had a bunch of weapons.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that I mean I've been able to play a little bit differently than I was at Holy Cross just because with me starting as a freshman, I feel like I had a lot of attention the first 2 years, and then with the rise of Coker, it was able to allow me to start making keep continue to make plays, but now I'm not getting the double team and that type of stuff was really fun. But at Wyoming, just because we don't throw the ball as much, when we do get the opportunity to, it's like it's 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 kind of like a perfect setup usually. So
That makes
um,
sense.
yeah,
Yeah, you guys had a crazy offensive line this year.
yeah, for sure.
I guess for somebody watching film on you, an evaluator or scout, what would you say your best traits or attributes would probably be coming across?
Well, just first my speed.
Okay.
I'd say that I like to put speed on guys. And second, I would say my ability to track the football. I'm
Okay.
super comfortable, catching the ball over my shoulder and stuff like that. Just because, I like to win at the line of scrimmage, get a stack and, put my body between the ball and the defender. So, with a good pass, that's a touchdown almost every time. So, I'm good with tracking the ball. And then I feel like I understand zones really well, and I just feel like I put a lot on film, especially if you're looking at all my film, like my complete total body work.
Yeah.
I have touchdowns where I'm just running past people. I have touchdowns where I'm catching the ball, breaking tackles, and or making moves, making people miss, and going the distance. So whether you want to throw a 60-yard post in the air and let me go run under it, or throw a 3 yard slant and let me take it 60 yards. I feel like I've shown the ability to do that. So I think in totality, with my ability to play inside, outside, and even sometimes come out of the backfield, probably the biggest thing is just my versatility.
Okay. And I think, obviously people don't probably talk about it a lot, but I think it's always important also to kind of know maybe where you have a weakness or two, and then so you could make sure you're trying to improve on that.
Yeah.
If you had to say maybe what a weakness you have or a weakness or two that you have that you're trying to improve on, what would that be?
Yeah. So after watching this year's film, I felt as if there were a couple of times where I got pass interference calls,
Okay.
where I felt like I should have been able to fight through the contact and everyone likes pass interference, but I kind of want to get the and one. I want to fight
Yeah.
through that stuff and still be able to make those catches. And it just came down to focus and being able to look the ball all the way in, even with someone pulling you down or grabbing you, just because you're not always going to get the call.
Yep.
So I've been focusing on that. I put on 12 pounds since the end of the season,
Wow.
and yeah, so I definitely felt stronger, and I worked on a little bit of the contact catches and just focused on catching the football, all that type of stuff. So
Okay.
um, yeah, I think being able to make better contested catches, and I was able to show that a little bit more at the Tropical Bowl down in
Okay.
Orlando. I felt like every contested catch I could have made, I did make, and those two practices in the game. So um, yeah, just that's kind of what I focus on.
Okay. That makes sense. Um, so obviously you have a lot of good moments kind of that you spoke about in the beginning in terms of all the conference championships and stuff when you were at Holy Cross and then the bowl game and everything like that this past year. What would you say, maybe some of the top moments or memories you're gonna bring with you from your college journey?
Yeah, I'd say my freshman year, winning that first Patriot League championship at Holy Cross, because
Mhm.
that was the first championship we've had in 10 years. That
Wow.
felt really good.
So you were part of that recruiting class, that first recruiting class that turned it around?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, we're really proud of what we were able to do with that program for the 4 years I was there and last year. So yeah, it was really hard fought. I really felt like we earned it. Then we did. So
Yeah.
we were able to lay a good culture there, and yeah, super proud of that. I'd say beating Sacred Heart at home. That was our first playoff win at school history. That felt really good.
Wow.
And then I mean, my senior year, just going undefeated. Beating Harvard and Yale for the
Was that
first
the
time.
year you guys played at South Dakota State?
Yeah, we end up. I think that was the third round of the playoffs. We end up losing to South Dakota State, and that was they ended up winning the national championship. But
Yeah,
yeah, that season was just the whole season in total. We were able to hang our hats on that type of stuff. It felt good bringing the Holy Cross community together. Um, we beat Fordham. We were both ranked at home. It was Halloween weekend, family weekend. Everyone was
yeah.
there, 22,000 people, and I went down to I think it was double overtime, and we
Wow.
scored, and we called it Philly special, and I was able to run it in and win the game. So
That's
that's
all.
a yeah, that was a big play for me. And then I mean, this whole season really at Wyoming, every game was just completely different than anything I've ever experienced. Going from I mean, beating Texas Tech this year in double overtime, first game
Yeah,
of the season. Going to play at Texas, in front of 100,000 people. They're number four ranked team in the country. Playing at the historic, Boise State blue turf. That was really cool. Playing at UNLV inside Allegiant Stadium. Where they would play the Super Bowl later.
hmm.
It's just there's a whole bunch of stuff,
A lot of surreal moments.
a lot of surreal moments. A lot of stuff that stuck with me. And then, I mean, honestly, every home game at Wyoming is just completely different. The people out there, the love from the fans, just the we run out with horses or
Oh,
blast a
really?
fire. Or, yeah, I forget which game we had a flyover with helicopters, and it's just the
Yeah,
people out there are amazing. It's kind of nothing like it. So I'm just super grateful, and I'll never forget any of that.
that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, even Holy Cross. I mean, I know you didn't get to play there your whole career, but it seems like you had a part in leaving a long-standing legacy there.
Oh, for sure. And again, like I love my 4 years at Holy Cross.
Yep. So kind of trying to see, obviously we've been talking a lot about football and stuff like that. I don't know, what are some hobbies you have or something, interesting fact or something that maybe a lot of people don't know about you?
Um, well, especially this last year. I mean, I've always been into fishing, but with getting out to Wyoming and being more outdoorsy and stuff like that, I
Mhm.
had the opportunity to go out and fish. We go out there and catch walleye. That was really fun. And then even in the winter, right before I left, right after the bowl game, I was able to go ice fishing. My guy
Wow.
Lorenzo, he took me out there, me and Jamari, my roommate from California. We were
Probably
out
was a
there ice.
wake call from being from Cali.
Yeah, it's just so crazy. And again, it's just a little different out there. I'm from Jersey, Jamari's from Cali. We're 6-hour flight away from each other, and we ended up
Yep.
being roommates. And and our other roommate Dev, he was from Memphis, and we were all transfers. It was just really
Yep.
really cool. Really really just different. And we were able to go out there and go fish and ice fish, and it's just like just building lasting memories.
That's awesome. So in terms of, I know you finished up or had your pro day, I guess like a week or two ago. Um, what was that process like? How do you feel like that went for you?
Well, yeah. So at the conclusion of the bowl game, because my bowl game was the Arizona Bowl on December 30th, like immediately reported down to Florida like January 3rd, I believe. And I was training at Test Academy in
Okay.
Hollywood, Florida. And I was down there for 8 weeks. I had Otto Bolden, we had Brandon White from Receiver Factory. We were with just all the good guys, man. Just we're with Alchemy. We had Stretch Therapy from Sports USA. We have my boy Salik down there, full time masseuse, and
Wow.
um,
Pretty legit setup.
yeah, no, I mean it was everything you need, and a bunch of good guys down there too. We should bunch of we're still having contact in our group chat and everyone, supporting everybody and all that type of stuff. So it was really good, 8 to 10 weeks. Also shout out my boy JT Performance. He was a great guy down there, and yeah, man, it was a blessing, honestly. Came back up here for about a week, and finished out because the home facility of Test is in New Jersey, kind of near Bridgewater. Then I went to Wyoming for about a week, right before pro day, just to get reacclimated to the elevation. Wyoming is the highest D1 stadium in the country at seven
Wow.
thousand two hundred feet. A lot of people don't really know that. Everyone hears about Denver and everything like that, but Denver's
Yeah.
only 5,000 feet. So
I never knew that. Wow.
yeah, you fly into Denver Airport, you drive to Laramie, Wyoming. It's a 2-hour drive, and it's just straight up the entire time. So
Wow.
yeah, so you kind of got to get used to it, especially with me training at sea level down there in Miami. So going back up to 7,200 feet was a little different, but I just wanted to make sure I was comfortable. And then we had pro day on what was it, March? I want to say the 19th. Yeah, about 2 Tuesdays ago, and it was a great time. A bunch of the team had just came back from spring break. They were getting their workouts in, and they were supporting the boys. I think it was 12 of us or 10 of us, competing, and we had family members, we had the media, and just the team, all the scouts obviously in there, and
Yep.
um, it felt good. It was a good time. I was happy with what I was able to put out there. My numbers, everything were either what I was training at or PRs. So I
Awesome.
felt I felt really good.
Putting on that 11 pounds since the bowl game, you obviously feel in the best shape of your life, you would say, or
Definitely. I mean, I gained all that weight and I dropped my body fat percentage from 4.7 to 4.3. So yeah, I'm actually heavier but leaner. So
yep.
it's probably just all muscle I put on, and
Yeah. Yep.
it's it's uh it's just such a difference. A lot of people that saw me felt like I completely changed and everything like that. I mean, when you guarantee, like when you put all that time into it, and you dedicate all that time strictly just to focusing on your body, listening to your body, and pushing your limits, you're gonna see some changes. So I
Yep.
definitely say I'm probably in the best shape.
So you were down in Florida pretty much from like early January through mid March type of thing, or end of February, or
I was there till the end of February to
okay.
yeah, the 24th. Came back up here, and then I was in Jersey till like the 10th.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, 11 pounds of like lean mass in 8 weeks is impressive,
Yeah,
especially on
for sure.
4.5% body fat already. So
Yeah, that was the thing, because I wanted to put on weight, but it's just about where do you put on the weight. You know what I mean? You don't want it to just be water weight where you weigh in one time and you're heavy enough, but in all actuality, you're not that. So yeah, I think that we had a good plan. Kevin Dunn put together a good plan, and we just executed it pretty well.
okay. I have a few more questions for you, and then we could wrap it up. Um, I guess in a sense, obviously you kind of played at two different schools, had great experiences at both. Is there anything you would say, whether it be during your high school journey or your collegiate journey, anything kind of to this point that makes your path unique than others?
Um, I would say, well, I've never missed a football game in college for injury. I missed two games in the COVID spring because one week I was close contact because one of my roommates had COVID, and then the next game I actually got COVID. So,
Okay.
but I've never missed a game from an injury, never had a surgery or anything like that. So I've been super fortunate. I know that that's not common at all,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Okay. So kind of just like to usually wrap these up and just want to give you one last chance to kind of make a pitch or kind of just, tell any scouts or evaluators that might be watching this video why they should bring you into their organization and take a chance on you.
yeah, for sure. To anyone that has any power, to help me get picked or drafted or whatever it is, just know that if picking me, you're gonna get a guy that's gonna come in and work every day, and coming from championship culture and knowing how to win and is willing to do whatever's needed to help the team win and make the team better, not just on the offensive side, but speaking to that, being able to play inside, outside, come out the backfield, being able to pick up a playbook, being able to challenge everyone in the room, make plays myself, but also help everyone else make plays and to get along with everybody. But outside of just receiver play or offense play, being able to run down as a gunner and make tackles, or return the punts, run down on kickoff and make tackles, or be able to return the kickoff. So you're getting a guy that can play multiple positions, clean off the field, just get everything done, and at the end of the day have a lot of fun, and put butts in seats. I feel like I put on a show, make plays, and have a lot of fun while I'm doing it. So I think a lot of people like to resonate with that, and that's all you're getting in one person. So you know, pick me.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, great story that you got. I appreciate you making the time to come on and hope this is beneficial and helpful for you and hoping that it all works out for you come May. Or I'm sorry, come April. Oh, I think you're muted.
Sorry, I appreciate you for having me on here and giving me the opportunity to spread my story.
Absolutely.